All right, you're all unmuted at NTR Arc, so
Oh my god.
welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Nexus Forlorn Legacy. I am Obsidian, and this is my wonderful cast of characters. We will be doing, as is tradition, round the table introductions before a brief session recap, and then we jump right into the action. And I, like a fool, once again forgot to upload the Ludus art before stream, as I realize that right now. And then we'll jump right into the session. So without further ado, we've got B.
Hello everyone. My name is Beatrix Bunny. I'm normally a variety streamer focused on roguelikes, digital artwork, and RPGs. Currently trying to work up a CCV push to get an average of 20 viewers for a month, and if we do that, I'll be playing something extra spicy with all of the content added back in the Discord server and doing my first ASMR stream. Usually I'm a jackalope, sometimes I'm a goblin auntie. Tonight I'm going to be playing the hobgoblin artificer Feng-chen Wong, future overlord. The pleasure is yours.
Thank you, B. We love to see it. We love to see it. Next up, we've got Meris.
Hello, everyone. I'm Meris Orim. I'm a celestial dragon VTuber who specializes in storytelling ASMR streams, talking about all things books and literature. I also run my own campaign called The Trial of Hearts. It's an ode to all things romantic fantasy, so if you enjoy drama and intrigue and shenanigans, stop on by. We play every other Wednesday, but while I'm here, spells go straight to the garbage, and I play Soleil, the party's hot pink tiefling himbo fey werewolf man, and it's just a great time. So happy as always to be my dumb boy.
Meris playing local extra hyphenated character. Thank you, Meris. And next up, we've got Sif.
Hi, it's me. Oh my god, Hi, if you couldn't tell, it's me, Sif underscore VTuber. I'm very sick, so the part of Nafisa, cute little dragonborn girl, and her pet dog, Nyx, will be played by me. Really deep fucking voice. I am sorry for not being a cute girl tonight. But yeah, it's me, Sif underscore VTuber. You know me, I do art, I play games, I draw massive bazongas for Obsidia. And I run a Curse of Strahd game with some of these people here. It's also queer and traumatic with that little flair of spookiness to it. So yeah, feel free to come over and check it out. Or watch Ashes, please, Catgirl in it.
You gotta watch Ashes.
Yeah, you gotta. We gotta plug in one over here. Yeah.
It's okay, Sif. Don't worry about your voice. We can always... I'll give you my voice training tips, and you can help me with the gym stuff.
Thank you guys so much. I love y'all. Big hugs.
Thank you, Sif. And next up, last but never least, we've got Lily.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lily. I am a aspiring artist that draws mostly D&D stuff, with the occasional comic and fan art here and there. Mostly been focused on drawing things for the vast multitude of campaigns that I find myself in, but with a heavy focus on the campaign that I run myself, which is Mistwalker's Spectrum of Eternity. Started up pretty recently, so I just uploaded session 3 this morning. Very good session, lots of emotions, all RP for almost 4 hours. You know how we do it here. It's a great time. As for this game, I'm playing Aurora, our resident sheep satyr bimbo, not himbo. I almost said himbo. That's Soleil. If you are pink, you are a dash imbo.
I don't make the rules.
Real
I don't make the
hours.
rules. Yeah, don't make the rules. But very excited to dive some more into it.
Excellent. And yes, this is your friendly reminder. You should go watch Ashes of the Last War. My shameless plug for it, because I will take any opportunity to plug watching Ashes of the Last War. It is a complete, start to finish, session 1 through session 65 Eberron campaign that I wrote and ran for many of these wonderful people here, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. You want to hear about evil corpos and war criminals and all that, and religious trauma, definitely go check it out. There's also a beach episode, so you know it's worthwhile. And
girls kissing.
Yes, also girls kissing, and several polycules. But tonight we are here for Nexus Forlorn Legacy. Previously on Nexus... Oh, Jesus, I just like chucked my glasses when I was taking them off. Previously on Nexus Forlorn Legacy, our plucky group of adventurers were leaving the Sapphire Sea, the massive sandy desert body that actually consists of probably tens of millions of small nanomachines that a segment of them, identifying themselves as Omega, joined them as they left to return to the city of Venogna far to the west. But in order to get there, they had to walk about a week overland to get to the port city of Thiricum in the Ravenan Imperium. So as they reflected on the experiences they just had with the battle against the Leviathan of the Sapphire Sea, as well as some of the issues and trauma that ensued as a part of that battle, with somebody getting a little bite crazy on certain doggos and people telling that they're going to put them down. So, that escalated, as well as Aurora bonding ever closer with her shadow Nethris, which is taking a more active role in interacting with the physical world, which apparently was grossly overshadowed by Soleil having bitten so many people. And as they left, they saw in the distance a massive Zephyr ship, which is best imagined as a fantasy version of like the Shield helicarrier basically coming down. They're like massive aerial craft, closer to a dirigible than they would be like a conventional airplane. And they just journeyed across. Aurora had to deal with the fact that she is tragically containing too many layers as a person from all of her woolly fluff and not being used to walking for dozens and dozens of miles, and proceeded to have Soleil carry her. Nafisa and Feng-chen bonded with the robot, trying to get them up to date about the world, and taking photos and trying to get them to know them better. And they seem to be fairly oblivious to the perspective charms of each character. They also eventually encountered some wandering tribal horsemen from a tribe of allied Vanyaskins. So they had their trusty cybernetics, and they gave some info about where to go next, as well as Nafisa and them exchanged some little tokens. Nafisa got a little like runic rock carving, basically, with the symbol of the tribe, which is an antelope. And they got to a border outpost finally in the Ravenan Imperium, where they decided to rent some horses because they were tired of walking. Nafisa chatted with the horses. Mostly everyone got along with their horses really well, except for Feng-chen. And after Nafisa talked to the horses, it turns out the one was being uppity with Feng because it was gelded recently, and it took that shit personally. So after being made fun of by the other horses for a while, it kind of started toting the party line. And about a half a day later, they were able to arrive in the hills overlooking the port city of Thiricum, finally. And so that's where we begin. For everyone but Nafisa, this is your first time seeing Thiricum. Nafisa visited this location during her origin session when she was journeying to the west. And what all of you see is grid work at its finest. For the members of you that are used to spending a lot of time in the United Federation of Allied States, you're used to several modern cities and stuff having a lot of grid work of like intentional design processes put in place. Thiricum takes this to the extreme. you notice that like everything, even from this distance, you get a particular perspective about seeing it in action as how it flows and is compartmentalized. You see the evenly spaced and sized warehouses outside of the walls of the city, from which there are, hundreds of trucks, wagons, caravans, etc. Just and probably thousands of people engaging in the processing of trade goods and their own particular aspects of merchant activities beyond the walls. The walls themselves are these enormous, like nearly alien architecture walls. They're beautiful in a very odd way. Because it's you, especially Aurora would get this just because of her artistic sensibilities. But you see the flow, you see the intentionality put in every single design aspect of these walls to perfection. You're not an architect, but like some of these supports and stuff are like near impossibly thin for the weights they should be, supporting. And it has this just meticulous beauty to it, as if it was all handcrafted by somebody aspiring to achieve perhaps the most beautiful wall they ever could in their life. In the city itself, you see that there are numerous internal walls. From the distance, you can see the Great Colosseum, rising up from the overall skyline. Various parts have been very heavily, district into various neighborhoods. You see hundreds of ships or not hundreds, you see several hundred ships in the actual harbor, and then various other districts of the city that are aspects of them appear to be very well organized and designed, but there's a lot of chaos added into them, which is inexplicable with the rest of the city. But welcome to Thiricum. You guys are on the outskirts. What do you wish to do? You will have your horses.
Okay, guys. Welcome to Thiricum. Sorry, I have a bit of sand in my throat. It'll be there for a while. But yeah, I've been here before. I have a little journal of notes I took. Do you guys want to like do anything? We can like offload the horses with the group. Or leave them at some stables, or
Do you think we will need them in the city to traverse?
No, it is pretty walkable for like the looks at Aurora. We could take steam breaks, but it should be fairly walkable. Jacob was fine for the most part, but then again, he was very excited.
I'm not that bad.
Yeah, it'll be okay. So they can carry you, or I can carry you.
I don't need to be carried everywhere. Hold on.
Like to be carried, right?
I picture Aurora as just like melting. Like, I'm not that bad. I'm fine.
Aurora does get the solace of it's much cooler here than all of the plains you guys have been walking or riding across of. Once again, it's the height of summer. You guys are probably early September at this point. But near the ocean and the ocean breeze, it is a lot cooler. It's probably like in the 80s as opposed to the 90s.
Oh boy. I mean,
ever. So good.
If I feel like I need it, I will. But I don't know. I guess it's because we're amongst normal people. I don't really. I don't think I should be carried.
Oh, there's nothing to be ashamed of it. I pick up mix all the time.
Yeah, but they're your dog. I'm a person.
I imagine Nix looks offended at
that
comparison.
Wow.
I'm sorry. That was rude of me.
Oh yeah, see, Nyx didn't like that at all.
It didn't?
Nyx got the vibe of that, because also Nyx doesn't speak the language of Aurora. Nyx only speaks Draconic, so the only exception to Nafisa is currently Soleil because of their bond.
That's my friend. But yeah, do you guys want to do any shopping, any sightseeing? We need to like figure out how we're going next.
Yeah, we gotta book passage back home, right?
Yeah, I can take care of that. Jacob showed me. Jacob showed me. I can talk and talk things over and make sure we get a nice boat with hardtack and water and all that good stuff. Yeah, but we have time. I mean, we just got here. You know, we could explore, take photos, take notes, take photos, make memories to take photos of. What do you think, Omega?
We find this town to be a fascinating display of your capabilities. We we have no time pressures. We would simply like to observe.
Mm-hmm. Then why don't we do a little bit of people watching and walking? How about that, guys?
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yes, I think some perusal, whether we buy anything or not, is in dire need.
Oh, I wonder if I can find the same Euro stand from last time.
I mean, are you gonna go fight in the Coliseum today? That seems like your speed.
His ears immediately perk up.
Let's go. Aurora and Feng can make history checks.
Okay.
Nafisa already knows this because she learned it the last time she was here.
Yippee! My notes. Yippee!
Sorry, you said history? I
Yeah.
just completely blanked.
Yes, history.
Okay, that's an
Nat
actual one.
one.
Oh my
Starting
God.
off the session
You know-
really good.
You
That's
know,
dirty 26.
yeah. So, Lily, you went to art school. This stuff wasn't really as emphasized there. But Fung did take a world religions class in college, and she knows that colosseums in Ravenan cities serve a kind of pseudo-political religious role in a lot of ways, because of how Ravenan philosophy works, and basically they are a might makes right people, and everything is about becoming the greatest you that you can be. And so the only way to advance in Ravenan society as a psionic person is by killing somebody in a position above you, or forcing them in a way to submit and basically lose their status. So the arena forms a way that you can practice your skills in public display as also a way of establishing your capabilities in the face of potential rivals and everything. So generally, Revenants will usually fight, various imported monsters and magical creations, but they do take volunteers if an outsider wishes to push their mettle, and so that a Revenant can practice against them as well. Generally, they're not lethal for outsiders, since Revenants have nothing to prove from somebody who's not actually psionic. So, but yeah, that just gives you a little bit of info about how their coliseums work, and it's entertaining. People like watching the fights.
Yes, you. If you enjoy fighting creatures or automatons, you will find those in good supply, though they do accept outside volunteers for fighting as well, if I recall correctly.
Soleil kind of, as much as he can, looks a little contemplative. Like, it clearly piqued his interest, but at the same time thinking about, like, having his friends see him, like, fight with all of his abilities, he's like, I don't know if I want them to see that anymore. So
Aw, he's embarrassed.
so but it would be kind of freeing to have that opportunity at the same time. So he's quiet, clearly a little conflicted about whether or not he's interested in going.
Last time I was
Yeah.
here, Mr. Jacob said we didn't have time for it, so I would also be interested in at least watching.
Perhaps they even do teams.
hmm I'm sorry, Aurora, you were going to say something?
Oh no, I just being in a new place and all. Well, this is kind of what I do is I just kind of go around and just find things and draw things. So I don't really want to watch people fight, if I'm being honest.
You like the architecture, right? I remember you were talking about that last time we were out together.
I do. There's
Um,
there's one spell I think I was looking to acquire at a local shop, but that's really my main thing.
I do not know about stores that sell spelling, but I took this photo of some interesting architecture you could go check out. I can point out where it is, and you can go get it and do your painting. The Colosseum also looks really pretty on the outside. You know, it's not covered in blood or anything.
Oh, I know.
Uh,
That's one of my stops. I'm not gonna get in the way if that's what everybody wants to. If anything, I'd like to stay outside and sketch.
mhm. Oh yeah, Nafisa will just quickly show her the photo of some of the floating psionic architecture that Obsidia talked about during the origin session.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's everything is very beautiful, and it's it's very much taken to the absolute extremes of capabilities. You're used to the Federate. It actually, in a way, reminds you a bit of Erixia, like when you went to the big city for your evaluation and seeing like how much the various magisters would arcane infuse, designs or like art or whatever, around the city and stuff. It's like that, but as opposed to like they're just putting a whole bunch of magical spackle on it. Like there is clearly an extreme level of control of just the actual physical forces that have been wielded to be able to craft it.
Oof, that's pretty neat. I think
Mhm.
I want to take a closer look at that. Sorry, I'm monopolizing everything, but I also kind of would like to take a bath at one point.
Oh yes, perhaps that ought to be our first port of call.
Oh yeah, those are important. I don't want to smell.
Uh, do you need a shearing, Aurora?
I can handle that myself. Thank you very much.
All
I
right.
maintain my fur by myself every day.
Okay,
Mentally
but if
noting that it's fur and not wool. Got it.
okay,
I'm wool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay, but if you need help, do not be afraid to ask. I sheared many animals for my uncle. I can make you look really pretty if you want.
I already look really pretty.
Yeah, but like more pretty, because it was a
More
little.
pretty? Are you saying I
But
could be prettier?
we could always be prettier. That's what my auntie would always say that.
It is a certainty that you could become more attractive. You have clearly not reached that potential, is what Omega says.
He just looks over at them like, fucking excuse me.
Soleil's got his hands in the air. He's like, I'm not saying nothing.
I said nothing as well.
Omega's just very, very flat about it all. Like, doesn't seem to, like, not being malicious, just making a statement.
Gonna let that one pass.
So
Be a bigger
bathhouse.
sheep.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that should do.
Okay, do we want like a mixed one? I remember from what I learned about bathing culture this year, because apparently it's really important. There's like mixed, and there's separate, and then there's sauna, and there's a lot to consider.
I mean, I think I don't want to really just leave Soleil by himself.
Yeah, that's fine.
That doesn't sound right.
Omega says,
Nice.
we can join him. It would not bother us if he feels alone and isolated by your rejections.
What? Why does this all seem to be going against me?
See, Soleil, Omega's our friend, Soleil.
They
See?
said your alls. They didn't just say you, Aurora.
Yeah. But see, Soleil, look, if he's just whispering to Soleil, see, Soleil, Omega is a friend. See?
As much as I would like to pride myself in such things, I do not think so highly of myself as to be an object of lust for any of you. I'm fine with mixed.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's go get the bathhouse then. I mean, there's so many. Let's just pick one that like looks nice. Should be fine.
Soleil staying quiet like he didn't just flirt with Feng the other day.
Yeah, but you didn't come out and say it. So, like,
You didn't say
to
that
the
you're
autistic
I mean-
to the autistic mindset, you may as well not have been doing anything.
All right, so yeah, as you guys ride through the outskirts to go drop off your horses and stuff through the various caravans and traders, you see what Nafisa can immediately recognize as the sand strider like lizards and various caravans coming from Drungdo over in past the Painted Desert. You see these massive 12-foot high at the shoulder, like oxen that have been heavily augmented with various like cybernetic enhancements and stuff that are pulling these, going back to my favorite increment of measurement, the semi-truck size. It is a semi-truck of like not cab, but like the back. Again. The back part, like sized. Trailer? Yeah, the trailer, that's it. Like a semi-truck trailer sized, like, wagon truck thing that is being lugged by them into place. And, you see various people with, the Von Yaskin holy symbol and various, cybernetic indicators to show that they're likely Von Yaskin traders. You see trucks, like actual just fucking trucks from... they mostly seem to be of UFAS manufacture. Aurora could identify some as probably originating in Erixia, since Erixia is across the mountains from where the Revenant Imperium is, basically. And so there's lots of trucks like that. And
nothing from Emerald King Motors, though, right?
Nothing from
of
Emerald
real
King.
Quality.
Nothing of real quality here. This is all stuff built for durability, traveling across the plains and deserts. So,
as people betrayed you, you don't need to hold yourself loyal to them, Fung.
I wonder, were the livestock wounded in such a way as to require augments? Or have they acquired some manner of consent from them? Or do they follow the same religion as their humanoids compatriots?
As Fung voices this hypothetical to you guys.
Yeah, she's just thinking aloud. Honest question, though. I'm kind of curious now.
I could ask, I guess, but last time we talked to animals, they told us about how one of them got gelded. So, like, what if these guys got gelded? Do we want to hear that again?
Looks underneath at the undercarriage of this.
Oh my god!
Do I see anything that looks like
Colossal.
they've already been spayed and neutered?
It's fucking... Well, this thing is 12 foot high at the shoulder and is an ox, so...
Hung like an ox,
Hung like an ox. Hung like a super ox.
Okay, so it is augmented. Got it.
Hung like a semi-truck.
Yeah, these have not been gelded. If there's any academic interest in that, for whatever reason, these animals have not been gelded. Maybe there's a reason why. Maybe it's a Von Yaskin thing. Who knows? But
we have to wait for the Von Yaskin adventure to figure that out.
Get all your Von Yaskin lore.
Look, in a world where you can magically, after like 10 minutes of ritual prep, even just talk with animals, I gotta consider the ethics.
But yeah, so you get through all that, drop off the horses, and you can enter the city itself. It's the actual inside of the city is more beautiful architecture, clean streets, very clean streets, especially surprising after living in or spending some time in Venogna. There's also significantly less people than Venogna. Venogna is a mega city in its own right. The entirety of Thiricum is probably about 500,000 people of the various types in it. But in this part of the main city, you see significantly less people out and about. Most of the people who are out and about here appear to be presumably locals. They have the very distinctive dresses and suits that are a kind of modernized toga in a way. They're all single-breasted across to the shoulder, for a full suit tunic jacket and stuff. And the dresses are very similar in that way. So they're very practical in their own way. And you see a lot of Gith. Because of the unique nature of Nexus, the distinction between Githyanki and Githzerai is not really a thing. So you just see lots of Gith, you see lots of Durgar out and about, and then a lot of humans kind of doing their thing. And you notice that some people just don't seem to talk. You'll see them clearly interacting with each other, but they don't talk when they do it. And as you all look around, please make wisdom saving throws.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Exciting.
Does Nyx make one?
No, Nyx doesn't have to make one.
That's a 9.
18.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Nafisa doesn't have to make one for this because she already knows kind of how this works. But for Feng-chen and Aurora, as you look around at some of these shops, you get this feeling, this weird fuzzy alien feeling in your head as advertisements are being psychically projected into your head.
Oh no.
Soleil, you feel the energy on you, but since you don't know what it is, you kind of just steal your Fey defenses and push it away. But yeah,
I'm immune to marketing.
It's very much kind of like an augmented reality as you look around. You'll see things like building names, shops and stuff. All of these things just being projected into your mind if you allow it. So.
Oh my god, I hate this.
Oh,
What the hell is this?
Oh, do you guys not like it? They tell you.
No!
Oh my god. Okay. I'm so sorry.
Once you're aware of it, you can consciously try and shut it out. But
She would immediately try and shut it out.
yeah,
That's too much overstimulation, bud. We gotta shut that shit down.
I'm so sorry.
The two autistic people are just like, no!
Get out of my head. I'm so sorry. I thought since you were looking for this store, maybe it was gonna happen, and then you see, and then. Oh,
I'll find it myself.
So just walking around huh?
Oh, so you didn't see it?
See what now?
You know what? Don't worry about it. It is a lot to explain. It is just how they do the marketing here.
He just
Surprised
shrugs.
you know what marketing is, Nafisa.
Hmm?
Surprised you know what
Jacob told
marketing
me.
is. Oh.
When I first got here, I was very confused, and then I got a gyro.
And then
That made
everything
it all
was
better.
okay.
it all was right with the world once more.
It was targeted advertising, alright?
It was 100%. Now that you're here, you immediately get 5 fucking hero fucking advertisements in your head right now of different shops.
Oh no.
We can get food later. We need to look for a bathhouse. I was assuming it dings a bathhouse into
Yep. You get this probably 100 different bathhouses all cycling into your head at once. You could you feel like if you focus on any one of them, you have like this innate kind of, magnetic pull towards it. Like you can sense where it is directionally. And, if you decide to follow it and stuff, you will feel like it shifts as you move through the city. Like if you are going around like a block or a building or whatever, you'll feel it kind of pull around the block with you and stuff to direct you in the right area.
Google Maps in my head. Let's go. Okay, guys. I know where to go to the bathhouse at least. If you two are ready to go, I'm so sorry again.
No, it's fine. It's definitely not your fault.
Omega, are you alright?
We find no issue with this. Their attempts to penetrate us have been inadequate.
Very good.
So, does Omega make those with advantage since there's just a ton of different parts of the hive mind, or?
Omega, because of some of the unique aspects of Omega can kind of cycle it out by sifting and processing through it on such a minute level. Because Omega consists of tens of thousands of small entities, and so they are very good at compartmentalizing things.
That one got hit with the advertisement. Put it in the back.
Yep. So there is presumably a part of Omega that had to cycle through all of that, but Omega as the consensus entity did not have to deal with it.
Kick that headmate in the back. Don't worry about him.
There's only one nanobot that just has a million ads blaring in its brain.
Just quietly screaming.
They call it the ad blocker. It's that one nanobot has all of the MILFs in its area.
Oh no. Now, hold on. Do you want? Are you sure you want that to canonically be what the targeted ads for Omega are?
We are fucking under attack.
But yeah, so if you just want to pick a random bath out of the advertisements.
Yeah, if you have a specific one in mind, Obs, by all means, go for it.
It is called the Font of Divination.
Ooh.
And you eventually work your way through the city to get to it. You occasionally will see Omega just feeling up lampposts and buildings and stuff as they move around, as they're just kind of looking up at everything and just observing. But the Font of Divination itself it's probably a mid-sized bathhouse. It's done in a very kind of overly grand style for how big it is. Complete with columns and pillars that have been shaped into these kind of winding spirals with presumably fake gemstones inlaid into them that form images of eyes or presumably stars or something on them. But the symbol itself is a it's probably what are they called? An amphora, like a big urn vase thing with an eye on it, and it's the Font of Divination.
Okay.
And as you enter it, there is a ghost wise halfling behind a counter who will look up at you guys, and you all hear in your heads, well, welcome to the Font of Divination, strangers. How can we assist you in your advancement?
Nafisa will speak up. Apologies, could we perhaps do direct communication? We do not wish to overwhelm anybody with the brain talking.
The halfling, for just a split second, you notice a little furrow in his brow before he then speaks and goes, "Understood. I'm aware that this can be difficult for outlanders to process. But what would you like to utilize our services?
Yes, please. Thank you so much for your patience. We would like a private mixed bath if possible.
Of course. I could already see that you were in ready need of such things and have already spoken to one of the staff to arrange it.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for your attentiveness.
Of course, it is our capability and we wish to express it.
Thank you so much. Are there any rules or
Um,
policies you need us to be aware of, or?
Before you guys got here, I would presume you did like a little currency exchange at the Helios Aurum chapter to go
Yeah.
swap out your
Mhm.
your federal credits for some Revenan Denari.
Yeah.
And so he goes, um, no, we simply request that you only disrobe in the designated areas and that you clean up after yourselves. And if you require the services of the staff to operate any of the machinery, please let us know, and we will send somebody to be able to guide you.
Thank you so much. And, yeah, guys, you got anything you want to ask, or?
Mm, I can't really think of anything.
Thank you for handling that, Nafisa.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I know it's a little scary going to new places, and I've got so much experience going to new places and being here, so it's the least I could do. It just, if you feel bad, we could get gyros later or other things like baklava. Ooh, food.
Food after, don't worry.
Mhm.
So yeah, you guys can head to the designated area. As you move through, you see various like kind of gemstones in the wall like light up to kind of guide you in the particular area for you. Um, and as you get there, it's a bathhouse. It's large. For your party, it's actually a bit smaller of a room now that I think about it, but it's all marble. There are pillars in here. There's very much like with the walls themselves, there is very odd like mosaics in here that is very much like they're pretty. You can see how it would be pretty, but it's very alien and abstract. Like there's a lot of like strange designs that play with perspective, which is especially odd for a mosaic.
Hmm.
But they're all throughout this place. It's something you can't figure out the meaning behind any of it, but it's pretty, and you can tell that it's weird.
Very strange. But I suppose that is just custom here.
Everywhere is weird. That's what makes it so much fun. Now, I'm going to change in this private room. Give me a little bit. I'll see you all inside.
How about
Sure.
I was gonna say, how about the rest of you? Do you wish to go into your private areas, or is Soleil just whipping it out right here?
He's got no qualms
One
about being
time.
naked, so
Mhm. Yeah, Aurora wouldn't be bothered either. So,
Yep.
It's more of just a hassle since I need to make sure I disconnect my arm properly.
Omega just stands there, unblinking, like a statue, just set up as you all get naked.
you don't need to take anything off yourself.
We are not wearing any clothing like you are. Omega obviously appears to be wearing clothing in their own way.
Oh, right. I
That's a
did
neat
not
trick you
consider
got
that.
there.
It is a simple expression of our malleability. We find it is a near reflection of what it is supposed to be and is more acceptable for mortals to be able to process. We can remove it if you are so inclined.
Whatever makes you comfortable, dear.
We do not concern ourselves with abject physical comforts. It is unnecessary.
Right. Looks over at Soleil. You ready to head in?
He's just shrugging. He's already like buck ass naked. He's like, yeah, I'm good.
All right.
All right, so you guys go in. Fung, you disconnect your arm,
Yep.
which takes you longer to get that done.
Mm.
As you are going through the process, at some point Omega will walk over and very quickly pop it out of your socket, basically, as if they have determined how you do this and are able to replicate it much easier because they have two arms.
Ah, many thanks. I suppose your intuitive knowledge makes such things rather simple.
Indeed.
Many things, though.
Indeed, and it seemed that you were proving to be less efficient by trying to operate this on your own.
It is a learned struggle, yes.
And with that, Nafisa, do you eventually come out with your doggo?
Yeah, I come with the doggo. Nafisa is just in like she's still wearing her hijab and her cap, and she has like bathing approach. She has baggy white clothes over her body,
Nice.
like comfortable like kind of PJs, but like she's comfortable wearing them in the bathhouse. Okay, guys, and she just like takes a seat next to everybody, but like just has her feet in the water.
Nyx dives in.
Yeah, Nyx can get as wet as she'd like.
She starts dog paddling.
Mm-hmm.
I like to imagine Aurora is just like only head above water, just covered in bubbles, just letting herself just soak in Zen mode.
Mm.
I also want to be
Even-
clear that the mask is still on.
The mask stays on during bath
The
time.
mask stays on.
The true self.
Yep.
Is that
Probably
more
also need to clean
comfortable without, or with it on?
Yeah, it's comfy.
I was wondering if you'd be taking it off, but it doesn't surprise me.
I mean, you should know better than to ask that, Aurora.
I do.
Oh, does he take it off for sex?
No.
Oh,
It
I
was a
wouldn't let that
surprise
down,
to me
maybe.
then, believe me.
Mm.
That would certainly make it a more direct process. Not having to spend excessive time in removing additional articles.
Listen, it doesn't hinder any of my abilities.
I have been meaning to ask. Your attire I have found curious, though. What, you were raised a part of goblinoid society. Is that true?
In a way, not exactly. I wasn't a part of a clan exactly. Um, my father was a hobgoblin though. And raising me, I learned a lot from him.
Ah, I see. I suppose you learned some of your technique then from him, yes?
He pauses for a moment, just yeah, yeah, he was the one who taught me how to fight. Him and my mama.
He must be very proud to see you then.
There is
You have
another
quite a
awkward
quality of
pause.
skill.
uh, I think so.
Regardless of from where, I am certain that from what I have seen, you are quite an effective warrior. I see no reason why your father would not be proud of that, what you've explained.
His eyes just kind of narrow, and he sinks into the water a little bit more because this is very different from the last conversation he had with Feng. Um, and so he's really trying to like figure out what's the intent here.
She's throwing you wild
Um,
cards.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask, by the way. I want to journey for like a long time, but I know people get homesick. So, do you guys ever want to go back and see your families at some point?
That might be a bit difficult on my account.
Ah, we could do it.
Uh, I don't know. Isn't there some sort of barrier nonsense about multiplanar travel in here?
I
I
don't think
mean,
there's no way to do any sort of multiplanar travel from
what?
here.
I mean, didn't Soleil come from, and then like,
Well, yeah, but
well,
my
yeah,
grandma dropped me off.
well, then your grandma could pick us up. Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah.
I was to say, just to clarify, there are certain planes that are close to Nexus that aren't like true. So, like, the Feywilds and stuff here is a fragment of the overall Feywilds, separated from the main stuff. People can go to the planes that are close to Nexus. They just can't go to like, Eberron or the fucking Nine Hells or something. It's generally the elemental planes, the Feywilds, and what's it called?
Shadowfell?
And the Void, which is a composite of the astral, ethereal, and Shadowfell. So you can go. People can like plane shift to those places, but that is of course fairly rare. And
Difficult.
yeah, and difficult.
You have to be something of like a 7th level caster or something.
Okay, then we could like get a 7th level caster, or figure out
That's
another
not a
way.
real word.
What is this leveled caster?
I am repeating what the sheep says, DM. I am repeating.
Zomega is rather confused
I think
about
it is
this.
an academic term I have heard before. You have different levels of education.
I'm
I
sure.
mean, I'm not capable of doing nothing like that, but I suppose eventually I would be able to.
I don't see why not.
Well, if you survive that long, of course.
Thank you for your insight as always, Omega. It's certainly not gonna feed into my impending dread about the mortality of life.
An understandable sentiment.
Yeah, very understandable.
Feng, Aurora, what about you two? Family, home.
I think I would quite like to visit someday again. I simply worry that if it comes at the wrong time in my greater goal in life, that it would only serve to do more harm than good. But I try to keep in touch. I think it would be good to return when I can.
I see.
And
I wouldn't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
well, No, you finish your thoughts with her. It's no
Oh,
problem.
thank you, Aurora. Yeah, so I mean, even if you mess up the first time, we could always see them again, and again, and again. I don't mind lapping a place more than twice, or three times, or four.
Very well. I will keep it in mind. That does sound nice, though. I assume you would also like to visit home?
Not until I'm done,
Oh,
personally. For the member of the Anhidar tribe, returning home marks the end of your journey. And while you can continue to go, the very few people do.
I see.
And Aurora, you were saying, I'm so sorry.
Huh? Oh, um, I mean, eventually, yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, what are your parents like? I mean, Soleil already talked about how his dada and mama are really good at fighting, but what are they like?
My
Uh,
my dad and my mom's.
She was
Moms, what?
asking Aurora.
Oh,
I'll praise this to the whole room. Tell Nafisa about your parents. Give her the whole family lore.
uh, um, I mean, my dads were just kind of shopkeepers. Kind of, it's kind of it. They were just local folks. Nothing too crazy. Not magical.
Well, yeah, but what about like them as people? You know, did they tuck you in? Did they feed you breakfast? Did they, you know, walk you to school every day? My aunt and uncle always, my uncle took me to work on the livestock with him, and I was always with my auntie at the clay ovens she ran. The smell of bread permeated every morning. That's what I think about when I'm with them. Wet animals and well-bred bread.
Uh,
Well-made bread, excuse me.
Well bred bread. Finest
Breeding
breeding.
is very good. Yeah.
Thoroughbred, if you will.
Thoroughbred.
Uh, no, I mean, they could cook. Yeah, it was they were they were nice. I don't really have much else to say about it. They were kind folks. They helped me get out.
But Aurora, I want to ask more, but would you be okay with that?
I mean, what else more is there to tell?
Well, I'm a little worried when you mentioned the get out thing, because when my dad gave me permission and everything, it wasn't to get out, it was to explore, and I wouldn't use words like that, like I was trying to get away. Is everything okay, Aurora?
Oh, you actually you don't know. Okay.
I mean, I know enough if you're talking about what happened to Rexy and the war, but I have not experienced war.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
it's okay. And see if she's like kind of struggling with this. It's really just as simple as I was supposed to be a mage. Then the war broke out, and when came time for me to show my stuff, I didn't show them any sort of combat capabilities because that's not who I am. And they basically just said, "Well, you're going to war anyways." So my folks were kind enough to get me out, send me off to UFAS. So that's where I've been for the last 5 years.
Oh, are your parents all right?
I mean, I think so.
You haven't contacted them at all?
Well, yeah, I have.
I imagine with the war and its aftermath, such chains of logistics as communication might be more difficult.
Uh, it doesn't have to be our first destination, Aurora, but we can always go to your home. You know that's right. We aren't gonna let anything
Right,
stupid stop us, like a war.
right.
I'm sorry if asking about families has been difficult. We are in a very nice place. This floor is very white and stony. We should talk about nicer things. I'm so sorry.
You gonna come in, or are you staying up there?
Oh,
You don't just get to interrogate us and then not talk about yourself and why the hell you ain't in here.
I I am a I like you guys, so I will tell you. I am not very comfortable with certain parts of my body at the moment.
Is it a matter of faith or culture?
Oh, it's just, I could you guys tell that I have horns like you two, like you all do?
Huh?
Mm,
Nafisa kind of like sheepishly like puts her head on her hijab and cap and kind of like pushes down, and you can just barely make out a little like pair of nubs sticking through.
You
I-
mask quite well.
It's not purposeful. It's just I'm not very draconic.
Those are cute as hell. What the heck?
I thank you. I know my auntie says the same, but you know, there are so many people who are so much more draconic than me back home, and I just, I figured, keep it.
Yes,
I don't have to show it off until it grows proper.
but none of them are you. So that seems to be quite a large mark against them.
No, it's okay. It wasn't like I was bullied or anything, I don't feel less. How do I put this? And she'll like gently like roll down one of her sleeves to show that on her shoulder there's like where other dragonborn would probably have more like marbling or scales, like there's just like a few flecks of stone popping out like freckles. I just don't like showing this off. And besides, I have nice clothes made for me. I will like cover them head to toe, cover me head to toe with such beautiful clothes and patterning. It's okay. Maybe later, but for now, Nix is more than enough baiting for both of us.
Nyx
You know.
spits some water in like a little fountain above her head before padding
Oh.
over and putting her head on Nafisa's lap.
You know, for what it's worth, quite a few things that, you know, made me a little bit different as well. But my dad taught me to embrace them and make it a something to admire. And he'll motion towards just his general chest area, because of course he's got like the gilded top scars, but just scars in general that have all been like gilded. So anything that makes you different, Nafisa, I mean, of course, do what you're comfortable with, but it doesn't have to be something to cover up if you don't want to.
Uh, I think I can take my top off maybe, but th- everything else stays on. Okay, I have a weird looking tail flap, and I'm not ready to show off my horns yet.
You got a tail too?
It's small. Okay, it's not even a tail. It's like a little bump. Okay.
That is a tail. If it extends off the spine, it
It
is
doesn't.
a tail.
It's a weird like bump. You'd think I was like a hunchback if you saw it.
Does it wag? You're happy?
No, it can't wag. It's not. It's like a bump. It's not like you know.
You got like a little corgi bump.
It's like a little scaly and
no.
feathery.
Nafisa's a
so
corgi.
cute.
That's the real takeaway.
And like Nafisa will like very carefully start undressing her top half, and you can like see the scars she's acclaimed, the bits of scales flecking here and there, and then you can see her like 6-pack abs.
Pearl!
18 strength, by the way, for those of you at home. Yeah.
And that's natural.
And it's all
unlike
natural,
unlike
and
some
it's
members of
fun.
this party.
Shush! Shush!
Pearl, what the hell? You're ripped!
Oh, and she like put the shirt back. She'll like put the baggy
No,
jacket on.
no, you take
Aurora,
that
shush!
back off.
I am ripped. The scales are ripping out. Wait, what?
No. It is
No.
it is a turn of phrase. I have learned a few of these. That is one.
Nafisa, you're hot.
Yes, we are in a bathhouse. It is very warm
No,
in here.
you understand what I'm saying. You are
Yes, I
You mean
do.
you are
attractive.
aesthetically
You are deflected.
attractive.
I'm not very.
Hey, look,
never-
no, you stop
Yeah.
looking down. Look at me in the eyes.
Okay.
You are an extremely beautiful woman.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I've never shown parts of my body to people before. That's.
It is our honor.
You do not possess any deformities of note.
I think that's a pretty high compliment from Omega.
Considering what I've been dealing with, yeah, I would say so.
Okay, but everything else is staying on. Okay, it's just gently going back to unwrapping the jacket.
No, it's fine. We won't push you.
And she'll leave it undone. She won't take it off, but she'll like show her chest and abs, and like that's about as comfortable as she is at the moment. It's a little strange to be this open physically.
Really?
Aurora will stand up and just kind of just let her body show, and just like, you're among friends, ain't we?
You have massive birthing hips.
Don't.
Wow.
Visa just like her eyes widen. I'm sorry. It's one of them. I told you about the marks we have, and like
I remember them.
yeah. Now I can see like the woolen. Oh my god, Aurora, you're beautiful. Oh my god, people would make sculptures of your body.
He
This
is
is
just
true as
red
well.
as a beet and immediately retreats back into the water.
Soleil
No.
reclines and looks oh so smug.
Nafisa will like let herself fall into the water now and just like let everything get wet, so she can just be in the bath with you guys. But like half her face is like only half her face is above the water. Oh, Omega, I see you are still clothed.
Oh, we went over this. This
Oh.
she's, or they're not wearing clothes.
Oh, so they're like naked at all times, huh?
Yeah, I guess in a way.
I should include that in my notebook. But Omega, does that mean you can change whatever you want whenever?
That is accurate. Our form is subjective. We simply have agreed on this because it is similar, but not accurate to what we feel that we were.
Interesting.
So cool. Oh, that's so cool. That's very cool. If you ever feel like changing, don't be afraid to, okay? Explore it as much as you'd like.
We do
I
not have a
think
reason to be
everyone-
afraid of changing. Change is a part of our nature.
Has everyone in this group, in some way, shape, or form, shapeshifted in their lives, metaphorically, or more literally?
Well.
What?
Nix has.
I don't really think I have.
What? Oh. Transformation seems pretty cool, to be honest. Like, she like looks at Soleil and then realizes that's probably a bad topic. Lunas can probably remember when Lunas turned into a small guy.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
I have to imagine that Lunas also has the capabilities of his mother's and can assume a draconic form too.
Well, I can't be that bigger. He can't be that much more impressive like his mom's, right?
Who's to say? Maybe he's even bigger.
Oh, I
That
can't
seems
imagine.
unlikely. If a dragon is younger than another dragon, it is highly unlikely that they would be larger. They are a creature that bases their size on their relative age.
If he's like Nick-sized when he transforms, you could like pick him up.
Log Ludus.
He's just like Komodo dragon sized.
New dog acquired.
Real puppy boy hours.
Yeah. Smaller than his humanoid form.
Gotta condense that draconic energy. But yeah. Oh, do you guys? I don't know how long we plan to travel together. Ideally for the rest of my journey, which is a very long one. If we had like a big ship or a big house, I'd like a bath like this.
That'd be pretty nice.
I could get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to have an awful lot of money.
Oh, we can get it. The people who pay us are pretty rich. If we keep doing work, we'll get paid a lot one day, right?
Any reason why your particular journey, Nafisa, is so long? I mean, it's like everyone goes on the journey, you said, but like who decides which journey and where?
Out of character, did I tell you guys the thing about Nafisa's mom yet, or am I misremembering?
What thing about it?
There
There's a lot
was,
of things about her.
Oh,
yeah.
about like why Nafisa went, like Nafisa's goal is oh yeah, I'll say it. Oh well, Soleil, I mean I think I told you guys this, but I'm looking for where my mom went. And I didn't get any hints, and she wanted me to see the world, so I am gonna take my time with it. But yeah.
So like anyone can just decide where they want to go and why?
Yeah, why not? I can keep traveling for as long as I like. Technically, once I have a quote unquote enough worldly experience, I should go home, but I get to decide that.
Hmm.
I get to go home when I want.
What happens when you find her, like, in a week? Is that it? Is it just over?
Oh, I hope not. Oh God. I haven't thought this far ahead. But I don't think so. The way she was talking, the way my dad and my aunties and uncles were talking, it will be some time. She's probably somewhere really far away. But we'll find her.
Like in the Feywild?
Oh, maybe.
Has she signed any contracts recently?
I don't believe she would sign contracts, no.
All right, she's probably not one of ours then.
Yeah.
Just imagining, like, in the next bath over, she's just sliding under the water.
Oh man, it's so great not being around my daughter.
I've been here the whole time.
Have
I
you
mean,
seen the bathhouses? Why would I ever settle down?
to be fair, though, like, where best to hide from your child than constantly right behind your child's back?
That was the most recent girl in 100 Girlfriends.
But yeah, I know I'll be going on for a while, and even if I do come across my mom, I'll find some reason to keep going. It's not my end goal. It's just the purpose of this journey.
I see.
What about you guys? When do you think you'll be done?
Hmm. That depends on how fast I can slay monsters.
Oh, then I hope there are many monsters for you to slay, like a lot,
Ah.
a lot, but like not in a way that endangers people.
Oh yes, you
I hope
said
it's not too many, otherwise my grandma's in hot water.
you said your poor your grandmother. She is very decrepit and needs some championing. Yes.
Yeah. She sounded pretty rough when I last got to talk to her.
Hmm.
We'll save her, Soleil. Don't worry.
Yeah.
As for myself, I'm kind of just, you know, l- live life is my journey. I don't really my goal is to be a successful artist, but like that's vague as hell. So I don't know.
So you can stick with me for a long time. As like Nafisa like goes to like be as cuddly as usual, but then like realizes her
Aw.
like jacket's open, like kind of
Titties out.
instinctively back. Yeah, like, instinctively backs up after grabbing Aurora's arm.
You can hug me. I
I
won't
know,
bite.
but you want to bite. I know, but I'm I'm still getting used to it. Give me time.
Getting nervous around my birthing hips, as you called them.
Yes, 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 yes. What was it you found?
Um, that is difficult to say. I suppose when I have managed, if not to, if not to obtain my own corner of the world to correct and make a model civilization, then at the very least, once I have been able to convince certain aspects of goblinoid culture to, as I see it, reform. Although that is a very open-ended goal, admittedly. So I do not know when or if that could be done in truth.
Got some lofty ambitions there.
Nafisa's
Well,
eyes are just widening. That's 2 out of like the 5 people that she can be stuck with for a long time. Hell yeah. Omega, what about you?
We have only been self-aware for just under a week. But
Oh,
we aspire to rediscover our purpose and find the truth that we have been denied.
if you do not find your truth, though I do hope you do you plan to make one yourself?
We do not have concerns for time the same way that mortals do. We know that we will find it eventually. We have nothing but time.
I see.
Um, is there anything else you guys want to talk about during bath time?
Hmm.
I think we've discussed a good bit, so
Okay.
I will say Feng is curious, like just kind of not trying not to make it super obvious, but she's definitely curious about how like what kind of proper wool care technique there is for what Aurora uses for her routine, like because this goes all the way back to her backstory, where it's like she's very curious about how other people function.
That actually reminds me of something I forgot to bring up earlier with the bath area. While you're in here and stuff, like, after a while, the water starts going cold and stuff. And you see that there are like various gem inlaid areas to indicate, activating the heater and stuff. But when you go to like press it or whatever, nothing happens. It does not seem to react to you. You can make Arcana checks.
Okay.
Anybody can make an Arcana check.
mages go.
Presumably
That's
the
a
mages.
natural one.
Wow.
It's a nat
Nafisa,
20.
go!
Okay. Well, thank God we have two
gosh.
mages.
I'm terrible.
In case one of them gets sick, we have another mage. But Aurora, you keep pressing the button and nothing happens. You just press it over and over and over again. Fug, as an artificer, you realize that, there is, while not necessarily like truly arcane-based engineering, there is clearly magical engineering with it, and based on the comments that the receptionist gave you, presumably there is some like magical or pseudo-magical way of operating it that the staff could do that is not just touching it. You feel, with a nat 20, you feel like if you did a mage hand, you could probably get it activated, as it would psionically resonate with that. But
Sure, I'll give that a shot.
do you have mage hand?
I do, yes.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, you ghost finger it with your other arm, manifesting the other hand, and
I just whistle and I point out it with one arm, and the other arm just kind of, it goes into sort of a spider stance on the hand and scuttles over.
and so it scuttles over and starts to glow as it presses against the button, and you see the button light up with magical energy, and the pool begins to heat again. That was it. It's just, you would have had to get one of the psychic staff members to do it otherwise.
I'll take it.
So, yeah, that was it. Now, with that,
Learned how to hack the system. I'm in.
With that, you guys can finish up bathing, do your little shampoo, conditioner, whatever beauty routines you have, and head back out into the town. I know that we have a couple like specific things. I know that Aurora and Feng wanted to go shopping for various things. So do you guys wish to go together or separately? I never, Feng, we talked about it. Do you just want to start picking up stuff, or?
Yeah, I think I can pick up stuff.
Okay, so you're just gonna pick stuff up. So Feng,
Like I can do it with other people as
Okay.
well.
then Aurora wants to go buy some spell stuff. If you all want to
Okay.
travel in a posse together or not.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sure.
Soleil can carry the bags.
Yeah, he'd be down.
Okay. And also, I apologize for not saying that. Soleil, with his 22 Arcana, also picked up on that it was magically activated.
Hell yeah, brother.
Can't activate it, but he knows.
Yep.
I can't do anything about it, but I see what's going on.
You know more than Aurora, which kills me.
Now, the question is, Aurora, to find this magic shop, do you wish to open yourself up to targeted advertising or not?
Duh. Hey, Nafisa, you know where any magic shops are?
Oh, you got it. I can think really hard at it. And then she closes her eyes and just thinks, magic spell store.
You have about a dozen advertisements. They're not nearly as many as bathhouses, but there is one that kind of just flashes more evident than the rest. They probably paid for the priority advertising on the first page. But it is the House of Elucidation, is a magical component / dispensary store.
I know a good dispensary. Quick, this way.
Hell yeah, we're getting weed.
That dank ass weed. But yeah, you weave through the town and you arrive at the House of Elucidation, which is, it's probably a mid-sized building despite its priority advertising, but it is very, very nice. The exterior is quite beautiful, and it actually is psycho reactive. So as you guys look at it, it looks differently to each of you, just based on presumably some kind of magical algorithm as it scans your brain briefly, and it's very pretty, but it is very much like interpreted differently by each person looking at it.
Before we go in, Aurora is going to essentially turn around to everybody, say, now I know y'all are very curious about things like this, so I'm just going to say this quietly, so please listen. Going in here, and I'm looking for what's called a knock spell. This spell will help us break in and out of places. So don't ask me why I want it in the shop, because it's for illegal purposes. Okay?
There's nothing illegal about losing your keys.
We have all done the same crime. So
I know, but I just don't want people to
Some of us have
I
higher
wanted to
levels of discretion than others.
mm,
Staring at Nafisa.
You didn't do anything wrong.
that make sense? We good?
You got it, babe.
Okay, we'll be in there real quick, I promise.
Okay. As you enter it, once you walk into the store, you see that there are gems and crystals everywhere that begin to start levitating and floating about as you enter. And behind a counter, holding a gem in one hand and what appears to be some very small pieces of nexite and various tools and stuff in front of him is probably a middle-aged Gith male. He's probably in his like early or mid to late 40s. And he was seemingly working on something, but as you enter, he looks up and you see kind of hopping from behind him is a bizarre looking bird is a strong word. And so everybody can make Arcana checks again.
all right.
Nafisa can make a history check
time.
if she wants.
Let's
Oh,
go.
12.
I got this. Don't
Let's
worry.
go.
Yeah, there we
All
go.
right.
I rolled above a 10.
You love to see it. All right. Soleil, you can recognize this as a familiar to a spellcaster. It's definitely a magical construct in its own sense. Aurora can also recognize that, but can also do the cross section of cultural referencing that it is very likely an astral eagle, which is a type of familiar fairly unique to Revenants. In appearance, it's about the size of what is, probably a small eagle, like in real life. It has long, almost like peacock-like feathers that are made out of like a stained glass with silver trim. Coming up from behind it is like tail feathers. Its carapace, for lack of a better word, is this very finely wrought silver substance, which is very distinctively Gith design, with several like nodes of gems on it that each are like reflecting different colors, and they will like maybe pop with or like light up at different times. And its head is a vaguely pointed shape with like several slitted like gemstones inlaid into it, like eyes, but they're like kind of around like the whole top semicircle of the head, and like razor blade style silver plume feather-ish come off the back of the head, and much of the body is made up of gems and like glass with like a kind of rolling nebula like colored clouds inside of it that are ever changing and ever shaping and stuff. And as it kind of extends out its wings, you do notice there's like a multicolored kind of vapor that flows out of the creature. Um, but and that is clearly his familiar, this astral eagle. Um, and he will look up and say, "You have come seeking enhancement."
Uh, yeah, something like that. Pretty simple request, but I'm just here to do a quick study of a knock spell.
I should warn you that you are, of course, an outlander, a stranger in these lands, and likely your discipline, as he kind of looks you up and down, of inscribing and learning your own capability enhancements are different than our own. So be aware that if you attempt to adapt our own methods, you will likely experience a degree of surprise in how they may make you feel or are integrated.
She gives him this look of like, uh-huh, okay, sure. This is, uh, I'm sure I'll be able to handle whatever feelings I get.
So be it. And he gestures over, and just telekinetically, you see that there is a clear, almost diamond-like gem that floats over above his hand. He doesn't touch it directly, but it's still like levitating above his hand. And inside of it, you see that there's like this very minutely shaped, almost like helix matrix of like blue nexite inside of it.
So I imagine Aurora's just gonna pick that up and immediately just start looking into it and just deciphering it to the best of her abilities. Even if this guy starts talking, she is going to be hyper focused on just figuring out the spell's formula.
Okay. As you snatch it out of the air, he just kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "If you wish for guidance, I can provide it, but you seem to be confident in your capabilities."
Yeah, no, this is pretty simple. She'll just stare at it for a bit longer, take out like a little bit of paint, kind of take a glance over at it, just be like, yeah, okay,
How long
I
does it
got it.
take you to learn a spell?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, then I actually have to describe the learning process.
Sure, yes.
So as you
it
pick
should take 2 hours. It takes
Yeah.
her 2 minutes.
Yes. So as you pick it up, and you begin arcane analysis of it, you see the everyone else can very clearly see it, and to Aurora, this is much more of a distant experience. But you see the Nexite matrix inside of the gem starts like unbinding itself, and the gem begins to like crack and fracture. Aurora, you feel projected into your mind this arcane formula that is very much like integrating with your brain. You feel the energies of the spell like basically teaching itself to you as the you get the minor charge of that like next to nexite experience as it kind of rejuvenates you as the spell is experiencing. You're very used to particularly analyzing how spells are composed and exist. And so while, you of course can do this in a fraction of a second compared to a normal wizard, it is a very different experience than like scribing down a scroll that you have experienced in either Erixia or the Federation. It is very much like you are living the spell rather than learning the spell.
Oh, yeah. No, perfect. She'll just quickly hand him the gold necessary to inscribe the spell and such. Be like, I appreciate your time.
He, notices that, and then once you're done, the gem just kind of shatters into a million pieces and just evaporates. Um, and he kind of raises an eyebrow at that process and goes, I stand corrected.
No, I mean, here, let me show you for a second. She pulls into her pocket and takes out a little notebook. And inside of the notebook, you can see that there is literally just like diagrams of like magic and showing which runes mean which elements. And she just quickly goes through them, just like, so this kind of spell I immediately recognized as being more of, it is psionic in nature, hence the crystal. So that kind of rune generally tends to align with this way when it comes into projecting into your mind, and just completely hyperfixates for a minute and just be like, it's really just as simple as that.
The Gip looks at your notes and says, that is an excellent analysis for somebody so inexperienced.
Well, thank you.
And he
She'll just
doesn't
turn
seem to be
around.
like malicious about it. He seems to have given you a very flat level statement about his opinion.
She is very pleased with herself and turns around to the rest of the party and says, all right, that's it.
I
Wonderful.
imagine. Oh,
I think that was it. I think she just said wonderful.
okay. I was just imagining the rest of the party. Like, I think Feng is very interested, but Soleil and Nafisa are definitely just poking shit in the back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
An eyeball rolling down a glass tube or some shit. Like, oh man, this is magic's crazy.
Yeah, this is a little out of my particular wheelhouse. Not that my mother didn't try her best, though.
Oh, your mom was your mother was a spellcaster.
My mother, yeah.
Yeah. That must be where you got that ray of frost or whatever you did back there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my one party trick.
Pretty
It's
neat.
very cool.
Thank you.
But go back about the journey and you can see Aurora just with her notebook out is just writing. This is her first like real, like she has a few other like psionic spells, but this is another one to be like, okay, what's the difference? What makes this one this? And she's just very much just going over her notes and hyperfixating for probably the rest of this shopping trip. So that she's called upon.
Uh,
I was gonna say, when you leave the store, you tragically dodged me giving you his name, so you'll never know Titus and his familiar Diana.
Oh.
do we have a business card before we leave in case we end up in Thiricum again?
Titus looks up at you and goes, if you come to Thiricum again, you will know where to find me.
Oh yes, because we will have been here before.
Also, the marketing in my head will tell us. Don't worry, don't worry. The advertising was very good.
Excellent.
The jingle could use work.
An
Hold it
attempt
up.
at humor.
Was that taken as funny? I'm asking the other group. I seriously thought it could use some work.
We will think it as funny. Oh,
I
sorry,
still don't know what y'all are talking about.
it's okay, Soleil. Sorry, good.
Oh yeah. So there's nothing else for old Titus. But is there anything else you want to shop for while you're here?
Yes, Feng, were you looking for something, or Soleil?
Yes, I've actually been quite curious as to acquiring some materials to work on. Some fabrics, ideally.
Okay, then we can go look for any fabric store. Maybe we could just walk around and report it this time. I don't think I should be doing that thing with my head too much.
All right.
Mhm. Yep. Fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Glamored.
Hell yeah.
Drip acquired.
Hell yeah. Okay. No one. I sort of just look to the other party. Think nothing of this. This is inconsequential, I assure all of you.
Don't
Well,
worry,
now that
don't
you
worry.
now that you say that,
Yes, otherwise I would have been worried that you would have thought it meant something.
Most things mean things. Do we want to go anywhere else then? Any more shopping? Do we want to look at the Coliseum or do some watch Aurora draw stuff?
Huh?
That's okay,
You
Aurora. You think?
yeah, you keep doing what you're doing, babe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? What do you anything
Yeah.
you want to do, or should we go to the docks and get a boat ready?
Is there anything left in Thiricum you wish to do?
We don't have to play it out, but I do think Soleil would want to spectate a little bit at the arena.
Okay. Yeah, you can go spectate for for a couple hours. You see some fights. There's one fight involving a Ghost Whisperer halfling fighting in. They've apparently flooded the Coliseum, and
Oh, sick. Naval
he
battles.
yeah he is levitating above it as he is fighting a pair of smallish sea serpents. And you just see him telekinetically eventually rip them in half each.
Oh.
And people cheer and stuff. And so you also see like a a human wearing more of like a soldier's uniform of that very like Lorica segmentum style plate, with big gold and bronze discs on it and a long purple cloak as he creates psionic blades that he uses to square up against an entire like one of each elemental type elemental, and is able to go toe to toe with them. And he does have part of his body like ripped off by the earth elemental, but you see that he immediately starts like reforming and stitching back as he infuses himself with psionic power and makes himself actually twice as tall, and proceeds to chop the earth elemental into smaller pieces. And yeah, it's just some real interesting displays of psionic warfare.
Soleil
You cut out for that. What'd you say?
he leaves feeling very inspired.
Yeah, so for those of you who actually sit there and watch, because presumably Aurora is going to be doodling or something, yeah, you get to see, like, none of you have really experienced a lot of Revenant stuff before, much less, like, Revenants in combat action, but yeah, seeing them, it's all these very, like, interesting, like, psionic abilities and stuff, and it's just kind of neat.
I imagine Aurora spends like the first hour of the Colosseum like finishing up her notes and just theories, writing them down, and then spends the next 2 hours just drawing the Colosseum.
Gotcha. Yeah. You have to see there are some cool, less alien mosaics here. Lots of mosaics of people in epic battles and stuff, and great champions. And you see these. It's very much still more of that like psionic projection on top of physical art. So you see a mosaic, and then projected in your mind is basically like 3D animations tied to it and stuff. Showing things in action, like the live 2D effects and stuff of people, casting abilities and everything. So it's kind of neat. Unlike in
I
Eberron, they don't do advertisements. Like, you don't get corporate advertisements in the Coliseum since it's a...
No Final Fantasy
No,
14.
no, what was it? Fey Fantasia 14. But yeah, this is kind of cool.
I have made a stealth check.
Okay.
DM, it is for getting certain measurements for something we discussed.
Okay. That is high enough.
Excellent.
If you're trying to get Aurora's measurements, he certainly ain't looking at you.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
No one needs to worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, and then the final thing that I remember Aurora wanted to highlight is just kind of meandering around the city. You've been walking so much in the this particular part. There's also, it's called the Xenos district, which is for mostly expats and traders and stuff within the city. Like, outside of the city is more like the warehouse trading aspect. Inside is more like the harbor and like people who have like shops and enclaves set up from various countries and stuff to deal with the city and probably the Revenant Imperium as a whole. Then there is the plebiscite districts where when you check them out, they are very different from this. You see aspects of Revenant engineering, like the very much meticulous planning, but it seems like it has wildly exceeded what would be the amount of people that are supposed to live in this area. And accordingly, there is a lot of ad hoc extensions and changes made to a lot of the buildings, which are very much more familiar to you back in the UFAS than they would be here. And there are a much higher density of people. It's much dirtier, and it actually reminds you a lot more of the lower spires of Venogna than it does the rest of the city of Thiricum. And this is presumably where all of the non-psionic citizens of Thiricum reside. The non-citizenry.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just do a little description of just Aurora watching this, and just like, for her experience in Thiricum so far had kind of been like, oh, everything is literally perfect, and just seeing, oh, there's still an immense amount of disenfranchisements is probably, it sucks. Obviously it sucks, but she's just very much noting that and just kind of like looking at it, acknowledging it, and trying to like, but still like kind of keeping her head down, thinking about it. You can tell she's pretty bothered by it, but knows that that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it does remind you of Erixia in a lot of ways. Between the mages and the non-mages.
Yeah, the whole power equals, or like magical power equals status.
Yep.
And all.
And you do notice that all of the soldiers and guards are on the outside of the district. There are none inside the district. That is all. So
that'll be a picture for later. She'll draw that later.
Anything else anybody wishes to do before you catch a ship?
I'm just gonna start working on something.
Okay. Nafisa?
We don't act it, but Euros do happen.
Okay, yeah.
Hell yeah.
You keep getting targeted advertising about that as you walk around. It constantly is popping into it until you get one.
I'm getting two, one to eat, one to meticulously disassemble to determine all of the components.
I like, if I can, with your permission, DM, I like to imagine we got Euros on like the edge of that district.
Okay.
Where it's like a little mom and pop shop.
Sure.
Not like a mass stand, but like a little mom and pop shop that's like scraping by. And they're fucking delicious.
Yeah, it's like a half orc and his gnome wife. Just running this little fucking hero stand. They're very friendly and nice. And it's delish.
Perfect.
All right.
Mm.
After your delicious snacks, you time to head to the docks. Nafisa knows the deal. She can set up passage. There is a Federation trader going to Venogna, leaving later today. The name of the ship is Mariana's Thighs.
Oh,
So real.
If you ask why it's called that, the captain says because there is no place he'd rather be.
What a
God
guy.
damn. What
You
a
know,
fucking
that
aura
works.
move.
He's so real for that.
it really is, yeah.
Yeah,
Mariana's thighs.
yeah. If he is a human named Giovanni,
Gotcha.
is Mariana's Thighs is the name of your ship.
Excellent.
He says he named it after his wife.
Aw.
I too am a fan of this man's wife.
But yeah, if there's nothing else, you guys will board the ship. Nafisa is once again confronted with how gross the ocean smells by comparison. With all the salt and fish and everything.
Ugh. I hope there are dolphins this time. I cannot stomach the ocean for long.
It is Soleil's first time on a boat, presumably. Outside of the Feywilds. Big ass industrial fucking Nexite powered ship. With that
Oh,
blue
bro's gonna
tinted
get
smoke.
so seasick.
Make a constitution saving throw.
Oh no!
You willed it.
You willed
I
it.
should have kept my mouth shut. That's a 12.
Okay.
A 12. You're okay. You feel yourself getting a little nauseous.
Little woozy. All right.
It keeps sloshing.
If this was me, that would have been a nat one, just like Topaz.
I mean, you can still try just for the heck of it now.
She's been on a ship before.
Yeah, I was saying. She's been
Yeah,
on a
but you
ship.
know.
You feel lucky, Aurora?
11. Okay.
Okay, you're still fine. You're still fine.
I'm fine.
This is just seasickness. This is base 10. But yeah, you guys take it out. It's gonna be about 6 days to get from Thiricum to Venogna. So I know there is one thing that is planned on the ship with Soleil, where he wants to talk to Omega. But aside from that, the journey will be uneventful unless you wish to do something else aboard it.
I know there was the one small thing we talked about, but that can come when
yes,
it comes.
yes, that'll come when it comes.
I imagine that I'm probably going to have to be spending a lot of the time doing stuff.
Yep, you are going to be doing a lot of stuff. Over the course of this journey, Feng-chen is looking pretty tired every day.
Mhm.
But we'll say around day 2, Soleil, you can go chat with Omega. Omega generally just sits on the deck, and it's always unsettling because Omega doesn't move like most people do on a ship. They just kind of like teeter like a buoy as they are standing always perfectly in place as the ship moves.
They're like a chicken's head.
Yeah.
Yep. Soleil will wobble his way over to Omega and just, you're handling this whole boat thing a lot better than I thought you would.
It is conceptually a simple process. We understand the fundamental logistics of it. We do not experience nausea, for we have no internal systems that would react to that. It is interesting to see the comparative blueness of the ocean, as it is reminding us of where we were so recently.
Oh. I guess it kind of would remind you of home, wouldn't it?
In a metaphorical sense, it is obviously nothing actually in common besides superficial coloration.
Yeah, fair enough. It ain't sand. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions, Omega?
You may ask, and we will do our best to answer.
I mean, I figure that you being the way that you are, you wouldn't mind more upfront questioning.
We find the directness to be simpler and more efficient.
Excellent. So, here's the thing. This group has already been through a lot. And they've already had plenty of issues to deal with and plenty of dangers, myself included. They don't need another one. And I still don't know what I still don't know what to make of you, Omega. Everyone else seems to be pretty friendly, pretty buddy with you, but I need a little more reassurance that you're not an additional threat.
Omega turns to look at you, and Omega never blinks or anything, but their eyes do that aperture zooming in, expanding thing, and they just look at you very levelly and say, "Are you afraid of us?"
It's not fear, per se. Just, perhaps a sense of unease. A lack of trust, if you will.
An understandable
After all,
sentiment.
after all, I have to wonder. When we first, I guess, met you in this form you've acquired, you seem to gravitate towards me, and mind you, I'm used to having that effect on people, but granted, you're not most people. And then there was the way you reacted to when she revealed her friend Nethris. So I have to ask, what is your deal with Fey beings?
We do not have any particular connection to Fey entities. We resonate with the fact that you are highly concentrated.
Concentrated how exactly?
You are a highly concentrated font of magical energy. We feel that resonates.
I see. Is there something you would do with this energy?
We would like to touch it.
And what would that entail?
Presumably touching it.
I allow me to rephrase that. Touch the energy. What do you anticipate will happen?
We do not know. We have not experienced it as we are aware of. We simply feel resonance. If you wish to allow us to explore the possibilities, we would be amenable to touching you.
Soleil is trying so hard to not make a crass joke right now. Because he knows it'll just go over Omega's head. But he'll just kind of, and I'll need some time to consider that, Omega. Granted, how I just kind of went through this whole thing about how I don't really trust you and you don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, well, I wanted to make sure that you weren't going to try anything with Aurora.
We do not feel that Aurora possesses the same potentiality that would require our experience.
So he'll just leave it well enough alone then.
If Aurora would like us to touch them, we can. We do not feel a need for it, but if that would give you some sense of satisfaction or succor, we could provide that. But it does not possess the same level of academic curiosity that we have with you or with their parasitic entity.
I don't think parasitic's quite the right. Do you think it's parasitic?
It is a fey entity attached to a mortal being. They are always parasitic. It is their nature.
I never really thought of it that way.
That is surprising, considering your own fey nature. You are not like her. She is simply a mortal manifestation of fey energy, while you appear to be something directly connected to the fey wilds. We would assume you would have a better understanding of your own cosmological relationship with mortal beings.
Well, I mean, there's people make deals. They make contracts, but it's it's not like she takes advantage of them.
We do not intend to cast moral aspersions against what your species may do or not in order to survive or entertain itself. We are simply stating that, much like many other cosmological entities, your relationship is inherently parasitic to that of mortals. They generate something that you desire and you feed off of it in some way, whether that be through direct transference of contractual reciprocity or through more esoteric and or more metaphorical things such as satisfaction or enjoyment at whatever it has been agreed on that they are experiencing.
Huh. That's that's quite the outlook on it.
It is simply a fact.
Right. But I mean, that doesn't mean that every Fae does this, though. I mean, you don't see me leeching off of anybody.
We have not observed you engaging in such activities with anyone in the time that we have known you. We will not conclude that you will not engage in it in the future. You presumably have a long lifespan and will have plenty of opportunities before you.
Well, I don't plan to.
Understood.
Well, so long as we understand one another, there's to be no energy touching.
Understood. We feel that this will, of course, get in the way of us understanding each other, as in, we will not be able to understand you to the fullest capability we can. However, we are aware that you wish to establish this boundary for the current period of time.
Very good. As you were, Omega.
We are
And
what we
we'll-
are.
He'll just wander back to, I guess, like the little more residential area of the cabins of the ship, and he suddenly has a lot to think about. He did not anticipate this.
Omega just continues to sit there as a buoy on the ship, moving with the same flow as the ship as they stand bolt upright, staring out at the ocean. But yeah, as that day comes to a close, around day 3, Aurora actually notices something familiar. You know, you guys are been pretty much hugging the coast because it's basically one of the easiest ways to get to Venogna from Thiricum. So as you get around 3 days past Thiricum, you notice the very distinctive Erixis Mountains that border the two sides of Erixia, and you can give me a perception check, if you will, Aurora.
Oh boy, I'm so good at these.
You got this. You got
I
this.
need this for the lore. It's a 10.
All right. You see the once you get past the mountains, you see where there is the the harbor that you departed from so many years ago. You can't make any particularly detailed observations about it from this distance, since you are close to the coast. You are not literally hugging the coast. But yeah, you do get that familiar scenery as you are once again in a Federation ship sailing past that portion of Erixia towards the rest of the UFAS.
Yeah, I imagine this has been a moment which I know she has immortalized in paint before. This not necessarily this site, but just like the being on a ship. And so probably just like she has her back to the side that's like out to sea, so she's just kind of watching it go past. She hasn't been really drawing or sketching much on this trip. Being on a boat tends to make that not really possible, or at least not as
More
easy.
difficult.
Much more difficult. So she's just kind of staring at it, and especially thinking about the conversations that they had in the bath about like going back to Erixia and just all of that. It's really weighing pretty heavily on her mind. But I think the most important thing for her is just to see, does it look that much different?
From this distance, in your heart of hearts, you feel like there are probably many more boats there, but it doesn't seem to be exponentially different. You don't see skyscrapers coming out of it that didn't exist there before.
I imagine she takes a bit of solace in that. In her mind, I think there was at least a part of her that thought, or maybe assumed, that there wouldn't be much left of it post-war. So she just kind of, there's a little bit of like solace, and she just kind of stays quiet and just watches it very intently as the nation goes by.
Okay. Yeah, and the rest of that will be uneventful, as until eventually you pass by the second set of the Erixis Mountains that mark the border between Erixia and Tyrol, the farthest east state within the UFAS, and it's all behind you now in more ways than one. All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to do in the final 3 days of the trip, or would you like to arrive in Venogna?
I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay. After 3 more days, you get closer to, the more polluted water. You start seeing the massive smog cloud over the, expansive urban, sprawl that is Venogna, and it's hilled structure where once you get above the smog, you get to the fancy hills where, the dragons live and other rich people live. And you see the hundreds upon hundreds of ships from all over the world that are docked here, trading and going. The smell is, it is kind of, you haven't lived here long, but it is familiar. It is also quite acrid and uncomfortable compared to the clean air you've been breathing in the plains of the Eastern Marches, or even the immaculately maintained streets of Thiricum. You're back in the urban wasteland.
Oh boy.
Industrialization at its finest. And you're able to dock and get off uneventfully. Giovanni, waves by to you guys. As he starts unloading things, you see that there is a large orc woman at the docks who runs up and gives Giovanni a big hug and lifts him up in the air and kisses him.
My man.
What a lucky guy. I too am a fan of his wife.
And with that, I think we will end things here for tonight. I know we had a bit of a later start, but it was probably a good place to end it as you head to the Dragon Mom's estate to give them a debrief about everything that's happened and introduce them to your new companion that they apparently sent you to retrieve.
I didn't have time to finish everything, right?
No, you did not.
Okay, that's all right.
You'll need a bit more time in Venogna to finish it.
That's all right.
And I hope everybody had fun tonight. I hope all my players had fun. If you haven't done so already, please give me a follow here on Twitch. Give me a sub over on YouTube, where I also have every episode of this campaign on it, as well as every VOD for every stream I've ever done. You can also give me a follow on Blue Sky and see my art and my many unhinged thoughts about all kinds of things. Or you can join my Discord, the Eternal Citadel, and be a part of my incredible community. I want you all to know you're all beautiful, amazing, and valid people, and I hope you enjoyed spending your night with me nearly as much as we enjoyed spending it with you. And never forget the most important part, which is that the world is better having you in it. That'll be it for D&D tonight. We are going to be back here on Wednesday morning for some more Fallout. If you want to go check out my adventures in my first time playing through Fallout, and all the hijinks that ensue. And then we'll be Gucci Gang. So we shall find ourselves somebody to raid. If you're a follower, please copy down the call to hugs. If you're a sub, please copy down the Knight's message. We are, it's been a while. We're gonna raid my favorite little cowgirl.
Oh.
Mona by Moonlight. She is currently playing Monster Hunter with some peeps. So let's go raid her. She's a very good cow. We know how much we support cowgirls in this stream. Oh, I typed her name in wrong. Mona. There we go. So let's go send her and her friend some love. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys have a great night. So once again, copy down that message. And we will see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye!
Bye.